Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us on iTunes right now, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. No, not 4 stars, 5 stars, all the stars. Please and thank you. Quick shout out to some of my stand-up dates. I'm going to be with Comedians of the Compound. We'll be performing next Saturday, October 16th at the Blue Claw Stadium in Lakewood, New Jersey. For tickets, go to compoundcomedy.com. And then I'm headlining TIFFs in Morris Plains, November 6th. That's in New Jersey as well. So for tickets, you can go to my website, chrissymayr.com. Quick shout out to our sponsors, for which we would not be here without them. Okay. So I don't know how many of you guys are single, but we all know the dating sites suck. They're superficial. There are these face swiping apps. You don't know if it's an expert. It's hard to tell. And a lot of the apps seem to waste your time. I think the solution is Drom, which is a value-based matching app. If you're conservative, things probably aren't going to work out with someone who's a total lefty, and vice versa. Same thing with religion, lifestyle, how to raise your kids, other core values. Sure, somebody could change to meet you where you are, but why not just find the perfect match from the start? Drom is a free new values-based dating app. You pick the deal breakers and deal makers. There are no expert match percentages, and you don't have to addictively check the app. As soon as somebody matches with your deal breakers and deal makers, you get a notification. And Drom is also video only for more human interaction. So go to Drom.Date/CMP in your phone's browser, click the iOS or Google button to install, and use the invite code CMP to sign up. And if you're already matched up, tell your friends, tell your partner to tell their friends. That's Drom.Date/CMP, designed to meet your perfect match. It's free to use. What have you got to lose? All right, this is very bright. I'm figuring out my light situation here. Maybe if someone could turn the light off, that would be helpful. Okay. I'm so excited to have this guy back on the podcast today. He's a comedian. Duh. He is touring all over this country. He's going to be at the Omaha Funny Bone October 12th, and then in Helium in Philly that following week. You know him. You love him. Doug Stanhope. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm scouring your bookshelf to see if my book's on there.
Oh, you know, I actually bought your book, but I bought the ebook version.
Oh, I don't even know if that exists.
Really? I think it does. I definitely bought it and was reading it.
I'm calling you a liar straight off the bat.
It was on Audible.
Yes, Audible.
Yeah. Audible. Yeah.
It was Audible. And I love that. You know what? That Drom thing, your sponsor, actually, I've always, like, that would be something I would do. The only reason I regret not having kids is, like, I could say, hey, figure out what an app is. And I would love to see, like, just put in some goofy deal makers and deal breakers. That would be, that would amuse me all fucking day long, but I won't learn new things.
Like deal breaker, like you should not have a tail. You know, just put in like ridiculous things, because just to see if they're even reading it. I feel like it's still about the pictures at the end of the day.
Years ago, just for my own amusement, I would occasionally go out on stage. I think this was in the UK, and as the applause is drifting down, I'd scream "Gay Pride, White Power" and try to get people to chant "Gay Pride, White Power."
That would be great.
Bifurcate the audience. Like, I'm for half of this.
Can half of my claps count? Yeah, I had such a blast, Doug, with you opening for you last month in Mashantucket, Connecticut. We were at the Foxwoods. I can still say it too.
I can still pronounce it now.
Yeah, it's all because I was like, I was about to go out. I was like, you know, there are all these stage people. That's not their real titles, but like there's, you know, workers around. I'm like, how do you pronounce this freaking city? And they're like, you know, and they're all smiling, and they're like, you know, you think of it as like, you know, mash and tuck it, like you have a dick that you're trying to conceal. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll never forget it now.
Exactly.
Got it.
Thank you, trans world.
Thank you, Trans World. Yeah, it was a really awesome time. I knew that you had some passionate fans, but it wasn't until we were hanging out after the show that I realized just how passionate they really are. There was there was a lot of fun fan interaction, but there was this one fan that saw you. Either we were getting into I think it was when we were getting into the elevator after we had dinner. He was like, Doug, he stuck both his hands in the elevator and then was like spreading them and then like was trying to stick his head
He's a
in the
gynecologist.
elevator. Yeah, he was basically a future gynecologist. Yeah, he was forcing the elevator doors open.
All right, he's a rapist.
And I think my boyfriend Frank was yelling out, like, let it go, man, let it go. Like he didn't know if he was gonna have to like physically bounce somebody out
there was
of there.
A guy when we were getting off the elevator. This is another email that I got, or it was a tweet, I think. He was wearing either a Packers or a Vikings jersey. As we're getting off the elevator, he was getting on, and he's like, "Hey, great show!" And I go the opposite team because they're rivals. And I saw the tweet days later where he said, "If you're still in the casino, I'll kick your fucking ass."
Like you would still be there, like days later.
Well, no, I saw the tweet days later. I try to stay off of Twitter comments. I just do output only.
That's
as much
good.
as I can.
That's the way to go. Twitter's kind of a toxic cesspool sometimes, but I can't really stay away.
This because you're young and you know shit. Am I the last guy to realize that what used to be trending is not trending on Twitter necessarily? Like it will say trending if it is something that's trending, but the other shit in the what's happening column is just shit they put out there, like fucking clickbait, shit stirring fucking news articles.
No, that's definitely, I did not realize that until kind of recently. I mean, there's trending and then there's the stuff that's promoted that they push to the top.
Promoted. Yeah. I know that, but I didn't notice that only certain things in the trending column are actually trending that people are talking about.
Yeah. Then there's like a For You column. It's like, how do you really know what I'm interested in? And then a lot of times I have to like, you go to the entertainment column and it's like, at this point, there's still a COVID column. I think they could probably do away with that column. Yeah.
It's breaking news, fucking wearing a mask helps.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a year and a half old fucking shit. I don't know.
We get it.
I'm so afraid that I'm saying something that everybody knows and I'm just fucking old.
No, not at all. Not at all. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people they look at Twitter trends and they go, oh, okay, this is our news. But a lot of it is promoted.
What tipped me off is when I clicked too many stories where it's a subscription. I'm like, this can't be trending. Not that many people have a subscription to fucking, ballbreaker.com or whatever.
Yeah. It sounds like a kink. Yeah, some of it is clickbait for sure. And then remember, Doug, wasn't there a guy that wanted you to sign his jersey? And then he's like, oh, I'll settle for you to just wipe your face on it. He was like pulling his shirt towards you because he really wanted you to wipe your face on it.
You froze up for the beginning of this, but I got the end of it, and I get what you're talking about. Yeah, I've signed dicks, and I just signed some guy's scrotum the other night. He said, "Yeah, I only have one testicle for whatever," and I'm like, "All right, I'll sign it."
You signed a man's scrotum. You signed a ball.
Yeah.
How? Okay, so did he kind of separate the rest of his junk?
Bat wing it. Yeah.
He had to stretch it out. Okay.
Yeah, like you're opening an elevator door.
Okay. Did he have to hide his penis? Like, did you see all of it?
I probably didn't put on my reading glasses for that.
Okay. Wow, that's really big of you. That's like usually something only a Make-A-Wish would do. Would be like signing genitals. That's pretty cool, though.
Well, that's why I like having a merch booth lately.
Yeah,
we've started to, but I just want it over with. I'll sign your dick. I don't care. I'll fucking sign your one nut. Just let me get to the bar.
Whatever will get you to go away sooner. Yeah, is what we'll do. And yeah, there were a lot of really interesting fan interactions. And then you got an email after the show. We heard vaguely, it was such a big theater or whatever, you can't really see what's going on in the back all the time. But then
I do remember the incident. Well, not what he told, not the aftermath, but I do remember just in frustration looking up to where I can't see, hearing people talking, saying, hey, you know, everyone around you fucking hates your guts. So please just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And that got an applause.
We get the email.
So then this guy sends you an email like detailing this fight, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to, you know, I don't think there's anything personal in here, but if I come across something that is, I will omit it.
Well, his name is Orion. So
okay. Okay.
He's in the New England area.
All right. All right. And yes, how many people do you know named Orion? It's probably him. Okay, so here we go. I presume there are not a lot of fights at your shows, and I thought I would share the details of the altercation that transpired.
Wait, hang on. Did he say not a lot of fights?
He said, I presume there are not a lot of fights at your shows.
Oh, yeah, he presumed wrong right in the first sentence.
I thought I would share the details of the altercation that transpired after the show in Mashantucket on September 4th. You may be able to get some material. Oh, God. I almost wanted to stop reading after this sentence. You may be able to get some material from it.
Well, he's right. We're talking about him.
That's oh, shit. He's right.
One time the fucking guy's right.
Okay, as there is an important but overlooked message on relationship in the details. Or it may be something podcast worthy. Well, here we go again. You can use after you're finished touring. Secondly, I write about, and then I write about political, economic, and social functions rooted in liberty as the basis for morality. And this could be an opportunity to promote my material. Okay. To prepare for the show, this is almost like a short story. To prepare for the show.
It goes on and on. So please pause to fucking.
Okay. I had about a third.
But not in a good way, Orion.
I had about a third of a bottle of Grey Goose that I mixed with orange juice on the ride down. Hopefully he wasn't driving. While I agree that the taste of vodka between brands is not significantly different, for those of us who do not have a 30-year Stanhope streak of drinking, there is a difference in how you feel the next day between drinking
40, 41.
Between drinking Goose and plastic bottle vodka. I didn't know that. I thought there was no difference.
There's really no difference.
I also stopped and purchased a small bottle of Johnny Walker Black and took a few shots as I drove to the casino. Okay, oh my God. So he is drinking and driving already. Followed that up with 2 Jack and Cokes I purchased at the casino, and I was prepared to watch the show. After I was seated, there was a party of 3 seated to the right of me, 2 women and 1 man. They were friendly, and we began joking and engaging in conversation. I got up before the show started to get another drink. I mean, how many drinks are we at this point? I love it. And the chick, who was 2 seats from me, asked if I wanted to go with them to dinner afterwards. I accepted. She looked pretty good, and I was confident that I would be in that by the end of the night. I would be in that.
You know, let's stop right there. Nothing's sticking me more than confidence. People with confidence are grotesque to me.
I agree. I don't know how they get it. I don't know how they hang on to it.
David Tell is the best comic of my generation, and he's the least confident person ever.
Yeah, he has no ego.
Look up to. No confidence driving that's a hero to me.
I agree. To the left of me was a couple. You know the details of their behavior, constantly yelling shit out, excessively wooing, and generally fucking up the show for everybody in attendance. Another couple seated in front of them asked to keep it down, pointing out that there was a show on stage and that they were not the show. The chick flipped out, talking shit. The woman from the couple who confronted them told the staff, and the staff relocated them. I knew if I confronted them, I was probably going to get into it with them and kicked out of the show. You made a very astute presumption in saying, there is someone in this room who silently hates you. The 3 people seated beside me all turned to me, and we laughed pretty hard at that. Prior to the show, I worked 17 out of the last 18 days and the last 12 days straight. I'm saving money to transport.
Wait, hang on. Orion, what were you doing? Were you writing about liberty for 17 out of 18 days?
Yeah.
To have a day job.
Yeah.
I just get a little bit of a tell in that. Or do you have a day job? What's up, Orion?
I'm saving money to transition to promoting my material to make money through the realization of my ideas that promote human interests. This is very vague. I work on new hotel constructions and I travel for work. I was working in PA and I drove over 200 miles to see the show. That's a big deal.
Yeah, well, that's pacing yourself drinking. As much as he drank, it's really not that much if you're driving all the way from PA. That's like saying, yeah, I drank an entire handle of plastic jug vodka. It was on a Greyhound bus from Pensacola to Seattle. All right, well, that's pacing yourself. Go ahead, Orion.
Good point. Well, I wasn't going to fuck my night off arguing during the show. Once the show concluded, I was compelled to tell them they were pieces of shit. I don't remember my exact words for most of it, but I told her I hope she develops enough self-worth to not have to fuck up everyone's night to get attention, followed by hoping they didn't make it home, that they would hit a tree or something along those lines.
There's nothing wrong with hoping bad things. That's one of those Twitter rules where you can't like wish death upon someone. Well, wishes are as good as prayers. They don't work. So I don't see the harm.
Okay, good point. She becomes aggressive and loud. Her man steps in front of her, and the woman seated to the right of me grabs my shirt to lead me away. Instead of allowing me to speak my piece and move on with the night, the drunk cunt starts talking shit and implying threats. This bitch had the nerve to say, "Do you know who the fuck I am?" No, bitch. Nobody knows who the fuck you are, and that's why you're doing the shit you're doing. I let her know that neither her nor him want this problem. We're walking out, and she keeps talking, then calls the woman who was pulling me away a dyke. He spelled dyke wrong. She may have been a lesbian. Her friend probably was bi. So I spit on her. This is where it really escalates. Then she moved forward towards me aggressively, so I muffed her. If you're not familiar with the term, it means pushed in her face. He muffed her.
Wait, did you make up this term, muffing?
Yeah, I haven't in my whole life heard muffing.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to coin a term.
Yeah, stop trying to make muff happen. Her man grabs me from the side and punches me. I grab him, punch him twice, and I didn't know it at first, but he was knocked out on his feet. I put him on the ground as he hit me. I put him on the ground and he hit his head as I put him there. His arms went out to his side and his eyes were wide open. I thought he was dead because although I've knocked other people out before, usually their eyes close or they're half conscious but incapacitated. This dude's eyes were wide open and not moving. None of the staff tried to apprehend me, so I calmly walked away. I don't know if there are...
Chrissie, if you remember, the staff was a median age of about 74 years old.
Yeah,
there were more docents than staff.
True. They're all just trying to like stay upright. No one wants to get in the middle of a fight. Okay, he said, I don't know if there are two parking structures, but I parked at the structure at the other side of the casino. It's probably about 2 city blocks away. The staff told me it was a 6-minute walk when I asked for directions on the way in. There's so much detail here.
Well, you did actually park in the wrong building, and I didn't know where the fuck I was when you showed up going, where are we staying? I go, I don't really know.
It was a little confusing. Okay. To his credit. When I came out of the slot area, I went the wrong way. I asked for directions to the parking structure and I was told it was back the other way. I had to walk past the slot area that is about 60 feet from the entrance from where this dude is laying. And I saw the ambulance pull up. I stopped in the bathroom and took off my button up and left it in the stall. I figure if casino security are looking for me, they're looking for a guy in a blue button up, not a guy in a white t-shirt. You could tell he's done this before. I also lost my hat and chain in the altercation. I took my rings off and put them in my pocket. Close to the other casino where the parking structure.
We got to stop there.
He's changing his whole look.
But the fact that this dude wears rings, plural, that's a fucking creepy dude.
Yeah, I wonder if one of them was a pinky ring. That kind of tells you all you need to know.
I took off my rings. Wait, he lost his necklace in the altercation.
And his hat.
I thought he just knocked the dude out. Where did the necklace get torn off?
Right. Unless it fell off. or if it was pulled. I don't know.
He's knocked him out on his feet with the first punch and didn't even know it.
Yeah. So how would his necklace have fallen off?
Yeah, he dropped that at the pawn shop.
Interesting. This is interesting. So he's taking his rings off. He's putting them in his pocket close to the other casino where the parking structure is. I took the elevator down a level and left out of a side door. From there, I was able to get to the parking structure, get in my car, and leave. As I drove, I had to determine whether I did anything morally or legally wrong, since there was a possibility to me that this guy was dead. Liberty as the basis for morality means that people can do as they please, so long as what they do does not impose on the liberty of anyone else. While
like
they're
in a chick's face.
Yeah, he did not need to spit in that girl's face. That's extra.
She did say something vaguely threatening, like, you don't know who I am.
Yeah, just walk away.
That's reasonable cause.
Yeah, he was being extra. While there are various explanations and layers to cover every possible human action, including deception, circumstantial imposition, and other things, the general rule is not to impose on others. Words cannot be considered imposition unless there is a threat or deception that has consequences for the liberty of that person or others directly or indirectly. Wow, he's getting very wordy.
He's getting very jailhouse lawyer.
Yeah. He's talked his way out of things before, I can tell. I was morally wrong and legally wrong for spitting on her, despite her being deserving of being spit on. Man. But this is of no consequence to my actions that precipitated her husband or boyfriend's injuries.
That's called a moral compass with no magnetic pole.
Yeah, it's just
he deserved it. I mean, in theory. I mean, who's with me, people?
Yeah, she deserved to get spit on because she mouthed off. Yeah, he could have just walked away. I was not morally wrong or legally wrong for pushing her face, aka muffing.
Wait. He's not morally wrong for that?
Yeah, he thinks it was okay to muff her. Imposition is justified to prevent or remove imposition. She was approaching me, in all likelihood to strike me, and I used no more force than necessary to prevent her from doing that. Considering the circumstances, I think this would be legally justifiable as well, since I was trying to get away from the situation, and it's reasonable to believe that she was moving towards me to strike me. It's almost like, it's like, why does he need to?
How far are you taking this George Zimmerman argument?
As for her man, I understood that as a matter of pride, if someone spits on you and pushes your girl's face, you want to take up for her. But I was walking away when he grabbed and hit me. Morally, with his hand on me and having struck me, I'm justified in removing that imposition. Legally, he doesn't have a defense claim since I was walking away. So he can't say he hit me to protect his girlfriend since I was not harming and did not show any intent to harm her. Legally, as I stated previously, I'm trying to get away from the altercation, and I didn't do more than was required to defend myself. In fact, when I realized that he was unconscious with his eyes open, I put him down slowly and didn't do anything else to him after his eyes wide unconscious with his arms out to his side. Oof. This does not sound good for this guy. Since the tickets were assigned to seats and he sustained serious injury or died, I believe I would have heard something about it, and I have been looking. The lesson is that men should be able to control their women in public. And by that, I mean curb their behavior when their behavior is disruptive to others, like a dog or a kid or something. It is the responsibility of a man to defend the woman. So every time a woman is creating a problem with other people, she's making a wager that her man can whoop whoever it is that she's creating a problem with. In this situation, in this guy's defense, when they were confronted by the couple in front of them, he tried to get her to stop. After I said what I said to them, he wanted to leave it at that and let it go. As for your set, the most memorable moments were you correcting the audience on their second applause. Give the energy you have. Don't fake the energy you're expected to have. And the bit about the catheters. Liked the Jimmys trying to dry spike it. Lol. I've been creating material for the last few years. I have thousands of pages that I'm compiling, editing. Okay, so he's writing about like this side project he wants to do. Yeah, and then he just goes on and on about his
It's the
project.
Fucking most endless email.
This is the longest email.
Usually I skim them, and then I get to the point where I saw, and he might have died. I go, maybe I'll read this one.
Yeah. And if this guy did die, he's kind of outing himself.
No, like, it's not like you can duck into the bathroom and avoid the one security camera at a gas station. They have that altercation, you following you everywhere you go, going in, coming out with a fucking t-shirt on instead of a button up. Yeah, they have every bit of that.
So they probably thought, okay, it probably seems like the guy didn't die. And they're probably like, yeah, this guy got sweaty, took his shirt off. Because they would have gotten him, I think, if he died. Yeah, it was like he was trying to be
obviously James Bond. The guy didn't die. We would have heard about it. We'd both be served with fucking grand jury fucking witness injunction.
Oh, no. They'll be like, so you said you mashed and tucked it.
For comedy, but yeah, I hate to defend the hecklers. I hate to defend the people that are fucking yelling out, but you know what? They have security at casinos. You don't need to fucking do that. You don't need to approach her, berate her behavior during the performance. They should have been chucked out. It's a security issue.
Yeah.
Don't take the law in your own hands.
Yeah, he seems like really justified. He thinks he was, none of this was in the wrong. I was amazed at how quickly he thought to just take his shirt off, take his rings off, change his appearance. It's like he's done this a bunch before.
What man wears multiple rings? Like, if you have a wedding ring, justifiable. If you have a Super Bowl ring, you probably weren't a starter if you're wearing it in public.
How long do you wear a Super Bowl ring for? If you genuinely, like, what, that year? I don't know. It's like, who wears their high school rings anymore? Nobody.
I'm sure there's a few, and they're probably at my show. But yeah, if you were on the bench or if you were a punter in a Super Bowl and happened to get a ring, you might wear it to score chicks. See this, baby? Super Bowl ring. What's your name again? I can't even pronounce it. I'm a kicker.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, you know that Erica Rhodes opened for me just on that same weekend in Boston at the Wilbur, and a fucking huge fight broke out in the front row where a bunch of fucking bros like this dude Orion, they were talking shit, and the people behind them asked them to shut up, and the woman threw a drink at this fucking giant dude, just chucked a drink in her face. She was going to solve it for her little nebbishy husband, and Erica's trying to close her set, going, "There's a fight. I don't know."
Oh no.
And so I just went on stage and corralled them. But it's always awful when the lady tries to, I'll take care of this myself. Like, oh, don't put me in that position. Jesus, no, just fucking walk out of here.
So do you agree with Orion's claim that, like, if women start shit, it's like kind of an obligation on the guy that she's with to fight whoever, or do you agree with?
Yeah, socially it is. Like, you feel like you're put in that position where I have to fucking do something about this. The responsibility is on the dude to not be with a chick like that. Like, yeah, she's a shit starter. I'm going to bail out of this relationship. How about that?
Or like, yeah, don't bring her to comedy shows. Don't bring her to large events. Like maybe a restaurant date, or be like, okay, date this shit starting girl, but don't bring her out to like a show. But then she could start shit at a restaurant.
This is all, at my age, it's all Monday morning quarterbacking. Like, I've been that guy. I've been in shitty relationships with girls that start problems. But sometimes those girls that get drunk and start problems are the kind of girls that would fuck me when I was 25. And I was happy for that.
True.
So you settle for it.
Yeah, you have to be like, look, is the amount of shit this person starts worth to the, I guess, amount of sex or fun that you're getting out of it?
Yeah, I don't know. So many people live in fucking tired relationships, and not just like man-woman relationships, just socially. people who just hate their friends and they talk shit about their friends then why are you fucking friends? Just find new friends. Why do you sit here and go, oh, and fuck, oh, if Abigail's coming, that means we're gonna have to then don't hang out with Abigail.
Yeah, I think people just get stuck in their ways. Yeah, if you're with somebody who is kind of toxic, but I don't know, maybe people don't want to undo a whole marriage. Maybe there's kids. But then again, it's like, what do you want to stay in it and bitch? That's what I think most people do.
Well,
that's what my parents did.
We're lucky. I mean, at least we were in being comedians, because fucking comedians are the best people. I'm a comedian supremacist, and that's why I hate now that there's fucking schisms in fucking comedy with, the comics are even picking sides. Like, no, we were better than this. There's just too many of us now. That's the problem with the world, is you make too many people and that creates too many problems. There's too many comedians. There's too many problems.
Do you feel like comedians are separated, politically, where they stand on the jab, all of it?
Yeah, politically, fucking. But that's what's forced. That's why I was bringing up the what's trending on Twitter. But you don't have to have an opinion about this shit. It's bullshit. Like, when I stopped watching the news, I haven't watched the fucking news. I mean, I go to the Newser, which is the most dog shit news source. It tells me every day.
Newser.
Yeah, it's awful.
I've never heard of this. Newser.
Yeah. No more, read less. It just gives you every story in 2 paragraphs. So like 9/11 would be the same size article as a baby elephant in fucking Tanzania amuses a tourist. Yeah, it's garbage.
Wow, look at all this. Women charged by grizzly in Yellowstone gets jail. Serial killer. Yeah, these are all the same importance. Derek Chauvin and the grizzly bear.
Even looking at that gives me fucking anxiety, because none of it affects my life.
Yeah, Chappelle is in hot water. Yeah, people are calling him a TERF. People are saying he's transphobic because in his new special,
but that could be 2 people. That could be 2 people that said, I'm upset about this, and they had to hire an intern to scour social media to find a half a dozen people that were upset, and then everyone has an opinion. Oh, well, this is what I feel about Dave Chappelle based on 2 paragraphs on Newser. I don't think it's funny. Well, he's not. That's not his comedy. That's like a superfluous quote of his. Well, I think that's wrong. Oh, just shut the fuck up and live your life.
Yeah, that's so true. Because anytime, it's one person or a couple people that need to write something because they've got a minimum amount of articles they have to write for the Daily Beast or wherever the fuck they work. And they're like, oh, well, who can we pick on this week? Our news is not a reflection of the majority or what most people think. It's just, this one person that needed to write an article. Oh, let's pick on Dave Chappelle because he's outspoken and he doesn't give a fuck. The
worst thing about COVID was that people are only getting their news from social media and cable news. Like, before that, you'd get your news from your friend. You hear the thing about the thing? No, I'll look it up, because they know what you're interested in.
Yeah, and you wouldn't hear about the shit that you weren't interested in.
Yeah, the drummer from Rush died. Well, that probably wasn't even on Newser, but your friends know that you're into Rush. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use Newser as my trusted media source from now on. I like that.
If I didn't have to do comedy, I wouldn't watch the fucking news at all. I mean, I have to have some awareness of some things that are going on, but
it would be great to just be like a total recluse. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I wouldn't look at all. And like, does that make you a bad person to be uninterested in the news? No, it's like because you've been burned by it. You've been misled by it. Your day is generally worse the more news you read, the more TV you watch.
Because that's what feeds the fucking monster, is you getting upset about something. That's why they put all these things as fake trending, because they know it's going to start water cooler talk and people are going to click again. I had a fucking fantastic year and a half off, and no news crews showed up to go, oh, some people are thriving during COVID. Look at this.
Yeah. Where's your article? Yeah. Be like, people in Arizona paint their house colorful rooms or something. Why can't you be the news? And you have a lot of fans that visit you, right, Doug?
Yeah, people stop by occasionally.
Is it always like, do they give you the heads up, or is it really just totally random?
Totally random. Sometimes they'll email me, hey, I'm coming through in April. I'm like, it's fucking October. I don't know what I'm doing in April. I don't know what I'm doing after this podcast. Send an email. If we happen to be in town and drunk and in the mood, you can come in for a drink. And a lot of people stop by and just stuff a fucking handle of cheap vodka in my mailbox and then send it. Hey, check your mailbox. Oh, yeah, it's been mostly fun. There's only been a couple times it went south where we had to get the law involved.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe if you listened to my set, you would have heard of it.
Oh my God. But you had to call the cops on like what, a fan or a comic that had come by?
Yeah, I had 2 stalkers where I had to get once a restraining order and once a trespass. That, like, seeing them on your video camera, your security camera coming through your gate, like, at night, like the girl from The Ring going, oh fuck, here's a problem.
Was it scary a little bit?
But yeah, it's kind of cool.
Okay, more cool than scary. That's good.
No, it wasn't that scary. I get enough people around.
Good.
With the scary part.
Yeah, just release the hounds.
Yeah, it's kind of like dealing with the fucking fighting hecklers with Erica Rhodes. Yeah, I can go up there and I'll just talk this shit and let the security people do the security parts.
Did she try to break up the fight at all? Did she address the fight at all? Or she just like handed the mic to you like a hot potato?
She started texting me. I talked about it on my podcast. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but she filled me in. She goes, I'm listening to your podcast about me. I said something like don't fight or something at least, because I guess I said she didn't say anything. She was definitely out of her element where all right, I got this. She missed her closing bit. She goes, okay, I'll just bring up your headliner right now.
And she's like, stop.
She's so adorable.
She is so adorable. I love Erica. I met her in 2017. We're both doing the show Punchline together. And it was the first time I ever went to LA. It was like what I thought was like so glamorous. And I'm like, wow. I mean, looking back, it's like I stayed at one of the producers' apartments. Like they didn't even like put us up, but it was just like, it was exciting to get to go somewhere.
That sounds like it goes into a story and it doesn't.
Well, like, yeah.
I was so afraid. I was so happy when you brought your boyfriend. I told him this backstage when you were on. I'm like, I was so glad because I had a fucking smoking suite in that casino, which is so rare to be able to smoke in your fucking room. And I had a suite and I had my own bar. And I'm like, because that was the first time I met you. I'm like, I can't say, come up and fucking drink in my room.
I thought you were like, I figured like at this point, you're not allowed to smoke in any rooms, in any hotel, anywhere. So I'm like, we walk in, I'm like, oh, Doug, like I could tell you were on like, multiple cigarettes in. And I was like, this whole room smells. I'm like, oh, he's being bad. Like he's smoking in his room. But I guess like you were allowed to do that.
That's one of my favorite things about Chappelle is he just smokes everywhere.
Yeah, on stage.
He's got like Johnny Depp rules. Oh, it's Johnny Depp. He can smoke. Chappelle, he can smoke. So now when I play a comedy club, I go, hey, can I get that Dave Chappelle ashtray in the green room? Because if you're going to let him smoke, you're going to let me smoke.
Yeah, you got to do the Dave Chappelle treatment. That's awesome. That's how you know you made it, when like you can do stuff that other people can't. It's pretty sweet.
Have you seen the Chappelle Netflix?
I haven't seen the most recent one. The one that's called The Closer.
Or is the one that on Newser it says he's in hot water.
Oh yeah, that's The Closer. Publicity. Yeah, he in it he agrees that J.K. Rowling J.K. Rowling said that gender is a fact, and so he agrees with her, and the trans community is now coming after him and wants to cancel him now because he agrees that gender is a fact.
The point is, he's not in hot water. He's getting press.
Exactly.
Publicity.
He's not being canceled. It's like one person has a problem and then all the other pussies get to chime in, and all the while, it's more press and more attention for him. So it's ultimately a net positive for sure. He
already got paid for that special. You can protest all you like.
Yeah, that was his sixth. That was his sixth special, like in the sixth special deal that he had done with Netflix. So he'll be fine. He'll be just fine.
It's been pulled down off of Netflix, and I don't know that I'm unhappy about that.
Wait, what happened?
All my shit got pulled down from Netflix.
All of it?
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, a lot of shit gets pulled down from Netflix. When you're kind of a nobody, you don't know if it's because no one was interested in your shit, or they go, oh, because there's a lot of shit in my back catalog of specials that you go, it's way more difficult to defend.
But then you look at, then they put something like Cuties up there, and you're like, well, who really gets to decide like what's appropriate, what's not?
Oh, is that the one where it was like, oh, that's the one
the girls like the 12-year-old girls twerking and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't watch Rose. I did Roseanne Barr's podcast. She was just talking fucking crazy, and I love her, even though I don't agree with her. And she's like, you can't watch. I just mentioned Netflix. No, that's all meant for pedophiles.
The whole of Netflix?
The entire network is like, all right, come on. You're fucking out of your mind.
But it's
I
good.
was a conspiracy theorist in my day, and these are just really bad ones. All the conspiracies are fucking dumb as shit.
Just all of them. It's good that you can disagree with people and still do their shows and still do their pods and still be. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be like relationship ending.
Yeah, it's not. Like, I can't wait to go to Skankfest because I have preconceived notions about what everyone thinks. I did with you. When I did the show with you, I thought you were going to do all sorts of like fucking Anthony Cumia shit. And no,
what is that exactly?
Well, it's just like he's always fucking causing problems. I don't mind it. It doesn't affect my life. I don't mind how you think, but those are not my problems. So I don't talk about those things. I'm kind of at I get to a place where I'm going to be dead soon. Who gives a fuck?
No, not soon.
Well, Jesus, how
many?
Got
a few more years left.
Just this podcast. I smoked more cigarettes during this podcast than you did in college.
That's true. I did smoke when I was in 9th grade, and my sister caught me. We were at a school dance. She caught me smoking because I was like smoking with somebody in her grade. She was 2 grades ahead. And she just came home, sobbed to my mother. Then I got in trouble, and then I had to quit. But not before I went onto the roof of my house and smoked like a bunch in a row and then threw up. Marlboro Reds. Yeah.
Yeah. You have beautiful hair that I would hold if you were vomiting.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Wow. Oh, yeah. You mentioned Johnny Depp before. I was Googling you. How did you guys become friends?
He his agent sent an email saying one of our clients wants to reach out to it was, I don't know, CAA or whoever it was, one of those fucking William Morris or something, is trying to reach out to Doug Stanhope. How would we go about this? And then my manager contacted them. It's right before a show in Canada I was about to do. He's like, well, evidently Johnny Depp wants to talk to you. I'm like, it was almost like it was right after a special had come out where I like have to do all new material that I've like really focused on. And I'm like, for what? He's like, well, that's all the information I have. And then it was 9 days of a Canadian tour. Every day I'm just staring at my phone, waiting for it to ring, taking any kind of spam call. Does Johnny Depp
telemarketer?
Yeah, it was fucking. No, not today, Meatwig. Sorry, my cat's gonna be yowling in the background.
Aww.
So yeah, then he called. He was just a fan and thought maybe we should do a project or something. And we flew me to London, and then we just drank for our whole friendship.
Wow. So the project was like he just flew you out to London and then you just hung out. That's awesome. That's like kind of like a date, like a mandate.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like I've stayed at his house and shit, but
wow, what is his house like?
Well, it's like a whole street of fucking houses, and it's right by the Comedy Store. It's on Sweetser. He owns the whole street except one house.
Wow.
And so yeah, I'd stay there when he wasn't there. Like, yeah, he's just he's an old drunk like me.
What does he like to drink?
Red wine. And there's something else that's fucking weird. It's something that, this is healthy for you. It's not pomegranate. No, it's something I didn't try.
Okay, let's see. Could it have been like sake or something?
No, it's some kind of weird tincture that his fucking guru, fucking medicine man said, oh, you should drink this as a mixer. And but yeah, he's a fucking great dude. He's just like way too caught up in defending himself. I'm just fucking let it go.
Yeah.
Please,
let it go. For him. Yeah. He's such a talented guy. He seems like such a cool dude. And there's just like a shitstorm.
Sweetest guy ever. And like, anyway, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
I know it's bullshit. Yeah, it's absolute bullshit. But just you know she's fucking lying. You're just creating headlines about yourself for the fucking worst possible reasons. Because everyone forgets.
What would it be? What would be better to just not address it at all? Let it blow over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just constant lawsuits. Lawsuits can't win your fucking name back. You're just keeping the fucking people talking about clickbait.
Wow. Ugh. Sounds really messy. That sucks. But that's why we drink.
Where's your next gig?
Oh, it's in Lakewood, New Jersey it's in a stadium. I think it's going to be outdoors. The Blue Claw Stadium in Lakewood, New Jersey.
You think it's going to be outdoors?
I can already hear the wind blowing on the mic. Like, I feel like it's going to I'm excited.
Oh, these outdoor gigs are the fucking worst. Even with the best audience, they're the worst.
I like gigs that are ultimately a little shitty. I like when it's a weird circumstance. Like, I just like meeting people from different places. I don't know. I like talking to the fans.
Yeah, until you get too many and they all want to talk to you at the same time over each other. And then Orion punches a guy in front of you when you're just selling fucking t-shirts or whatever you're doing. And you go, this gets too much.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the degree that you were able to recognize people recognizing you. Like, it was the most slightest thing, but we were like at the bar or the steakhouse, whatever. Because you just know what to do. You were like, hey, where can we go that's low key? And I think someone recommended to you like the steakhouse bar. And so we went there.
For my fan base, let's go to the most expensive fucking place here, and they won't be there. They'll be fucking milking penny slots for free drinks, hoping I walk by. And I still hate you for picking up the tab on that.
Oh, well, you'll have to just get the next one. Yeah, I like that you just subtle movements and looks. And it was this circular bar and you were like, oh, those people across the way, like just noticed who I am. And then, you can watch them kind of act weird. And you were like, those two guys right there, they can't really afford to be here. They're just going to like maybe have water and a soda and then leave, or one drink. But you could tell, like, you were so good at like figuring out everybody.
You can do that too, because you're an attractive woman. Even a unattractive woman has peripheral vision where when I used to try to do this as a bit, but when you're in a half empty bar and you're sitting alone and, could I sit here because the lighting is better because I'm reading a book? You saw that guy coming fucking 8 steps away. You knew he was going to hit on you. And it wasn't until I was later in my comedy career that I go, all those chicks saw me coming a fucking million miles away when I was,
So like pretty girls and like famous male comics are similar in that respect.
That's a Chris Rock bit.
Yeah, true. And he also said you're only as loyal as your options.
No, hot chicks are celebrities and they don't know it. They get. I can't do it. I can't do it justice. But yeah, he had a bit about hot women get all the fucking free meals and all the things celebrities get without being famous.
I don't know. I don't really notice that much. I think I'm like dumb, and then I think, oh, everyone's friendly, and I just don't think that someone's hitting on me.
Walsh had the, Brendan Walsh.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because he was just starting the bit. I'm not gonna, but yeah, he had a great bit about women and the disparity in income. I don't want to give away your bit, fucking. Okay. But I live in wherever, fucking Silver Lake, and I see women that have never had a job in their lives driving fucking Range Rovers. You don't see dudes doing that. So it evens out.
We got a super chat here from Soap Maker. Doug, was the Louis C.K. scandal social programming? He was the Rolling Stone cover story when he was at his height, with the article was titled "The Jerk Off Genius."
Yeah, what was it? A what?
He is asking, was the Louis C.K. scandal social programming?
What does social programming mean? I'm not good. I'm not up on all the latest.
Like maybe they're telling, like the mass media or the mainstream media is telling people what they should think.
Well, they always are. They always are. The fucking news tells you what you want to hear. It's a fucking business. If a sitcom's failing, they add in an alien or a fucking stepchild that you won't want to see or whatever. It's a terrible analogy. But I switched from mimosas to Bushmills, and now I'm getting pretty fucking hammered.
Ooh, right. You said you were having mimosas with fresh squeezed pomegranate. That's pretty fancy.
Yeah. Well, then you drink 3, and it's all acid reflux after that. Which is straight up Bushmills.
From Isaac, Des Moreau, love Stanhope and Chrissie. Thanks for the super chat. Ooh, thanks, guys. Yeah, this is live. A lot of people think that this is pre-recorded, but this is live. I'm live here with Doug. This is your chance to get your questions in. Yeah, that was fun. That was a really good time, though. I appreciated everything. You were like, you're probably gonna have to hide in the bathroom if they ask for your vaccine.
Yeah, we did talk about that on my podcast. But have you told this story?
No.
Because right before the show, you and your boyfriend get into your room, and I said, come up to my room. And then because of security, at casinos, it's really fucking cool. Casinos act like you're Frank Sinatra, no matter who you are.
They came and got you from the freaking street.
Us. Yeah. Oh yeah, me. They came and met my car at the street. They picked me up from wherever fucking whatever airport I flew into 2 hours away, and. Yeah, and then you have this fucking security guy take you down the back service elevator and down through so you don't have to have fans attack you. Whatever.
Yeah, you could see like the inner workings of the casino, and then you're walking through like where the staff works and like where they walk every day, and it almost looked like a little bit of a school.
With the earpiece.
Yeah, so many earpieces with the coil in the back. Yeah, it's very cool.
Secret Service to get you. But they texted me right before the show saying, make sure you guys bring your Vax cards. The stage manager is going to need to see the Vax cards. And it's like sexuality or anything that's politics. I don't ask if you have a Vax card. I just texted you. They want to see our Vax cards.
And then I was like, oh shit, I don't have one. And like the show is about to happen.
You didn't have one with you.
No, I didn't have one with me.
That's all I needed to know. All right. So we start coming up. What's that Argo? That movie Argo, I likened it to. Argo is the movie with fucking Ben Affleck, where it's the true story of getting the hostages out of Iran in the 80s. and they were coming up with all these cover stories that they were a Canadian. Like, that's what we were doing. Is all right. Wait, no. If the stage manager comes in and before he can ask for it, you be on the phone acting like a loved one just died and crying, or
hysterical crying, or I have explosive diarrhea. I can't open the bathroom
before
door.
every show. She vomits and has diarrhea, so she's going to be in the toilet. We had all these ploys, and it was for nothing because the stage manager came in and didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it was so great. It was such a relief because I was so worried that it was going to be a problem for you. I was so worried I wasn't going to get to do the show, but then I was like, who else is going to like warm up this feisty crowd here? And then, we were like, oh, let's just chat him up. I was like, do I have to take my tits out? Like, do I have to just be like, you're so handsome? Like, I had all that prepared. I was going to be like, I was ready to flirt if need be. And then we were asking him like, who's the worst?
I jumped in with fucking, hey, how long have you worked here? Oh, since the beginning. Just engage the ego, and then every other fucking rule is out the window. Yes.
Oh, what a relief. And then, I think you asked him like, who was the worst? And I know Anka, Barry Manilow.
No, Barry Manilow is the one.
Yeah.
Because in comedy clubs, we always ask the staff, like in Improvs, Funny Bones, Heliums, when you're in the green room and they have a server, we always go, who's the biggest douchebag diva you ever had to work with? This is between us, except for this, because this isn't a comedy club. This is a theater-ish kind of place. And he goes, oh, I've been here since it opened in 92. So it's hard to, I go, if you had to pick like top 5, he goes.
They don't want to say it first because they don't want to sound like they're judgy, or they don't want to sound like the asshole. But you always know who the biggest assholes are.
Well, he's been stage managing there for almost as long as I've done stand-up comedy. So if you said, what's your best or worst show? Well, there's too many to pick from.
That's true.
But when you said, what about top 5? He goes, well, Barry Manilow. Like, holy shit. I'm used to hearing Eddie Griffin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. I've heard that a lot.
Not Barry Manilow.
Yeah. I think he also
meant an idea of the security that was around for Orion's fight is people that have been there since Barry Manilow played.
Yeah. They're back there. We're chatting their ear off instead of them going handling the fight. Whoops. And then maybe somebody died. They're probably fine.
Well, they're not talking a comedy show anymore.
Yeah. From Henrik.
Unless they're talking like this.
Yeah. Stroke.
I had a bad experience once at a comedy show.
This is a Scandinavian looking name. Henrik Ode Jord Siverstein. I had the pleasure of.
The thing is, I was not putting on my reading glasses.
Okay.
Oh, Bergen.
Yes. Yeah. I had the pleasure to see Doug live in Bergen, Norway, a few years back. Thanks for taking the long trip. Wow, you went to Norway? That's where my people are from. Is
that where Doug Soros and me tried to steal a boat?
What? You tried to steal a boat?
I'm waiting to see if he. Yeah, I think that was Trondheim. Yeah, I got really drunk, like one of those embarrassing kind of, I'm way too drunk, but I'm going to capitalize on the slight disparity of language barrier to make them think they don't get it. And then afterwards, we met some people at the bar, and I was determined to steal a boat. And we're right across from the marina, and we got over the fence, and then we were boarding these boats, and I just assumed Norway. It's like the Wisconsin version of like the nicest people ever, and I assumed they'd just leave their keys in the boats.
Like they're just trusting.
Yeah, they're that nice that you would assume. Why would they lock their boats? And we actually got into one of them, and I don't know how to drive a boat, but I was that drunk that let's get drunk and go whaling was my mantra of the evening. And then we couldn't find a boat with the keys in it, so we decided to go back and drink at the bar. And I remember hopping that fence on the way out like a fucking gazelle. I was an Olympian. And even Dog Soraz, my opener, went, I can't believe I just saw that. It was a strong night.
Do you ever get so drunk you couldn't do a show, or that you felt like it really fucked up your show? Or do you...
Early days,
yeah.
Early days there. Yeah, I had a lot of walker shows. I had a lot of shows that people stayed when they should have walked. And it fucking wrapped in the American flag in a trash can in Chicago, being pissed on by fucking Andy Andrist. And then one time in Scotland, the only time my manager Hennigan like actually pulled the fucking mic and went, all right. And I was laying down on stage in what's the fucking northern town in Scotland, north of Aberdeen, I think. Anyway, I was laying on the fucking stage singing the theme song from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh no.
And then people were walking out demanding refunds, and my manager just told the theater, no, this is what he does. This is what you hired. Yeah. That's my normal act. You hired him. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Do you remember how many years in you were?
That was 2012. So, and I was 22 years.
Okay. Yeah. Easy mistake to make.
So sometimes you get in a place where I'm just going to quit comedy because I hate everybody. I hate everything. And I know it's me. When you watch the news and you fucking hate everything on the news, and then you watch every commercial and you fucking hate them. And then you're like, if I have this much hate, it's me. Stop watching all that shit. It's me.
How have you pulled yourself out of those moments? Is it by cutting off from news? Is it by taking a break or a little mental vacation?
Yeah, I flip out and I tell my fucking manager I'm quitting comedy. I hate it. And it's stupid. The beauty of coming back after 18 months is everything is new to me. My act, there's not parts of your act, because your act, over the years when you're continuing touring, it's like skin cells that die and they're replaced by new skin cells, and that's how your act develops. All right, I'm tired of doing that bit. But I have this new bit, and it just
parts of it slough off, and
yeah. But after 18 months, you're like a fucking burn victim with no skin at all. So you go on the road, and you're like, I'm not sick of anything I'm saying. It's not all necessarily funny, but I don't fucking hate saying it. You know how comics say some of these jokes are just for me? Mm-hmm. Some of those jokes were just for you. I didn't know why you laughed, but I had to fucking plow through that to get to the part I like. And it's a give and take. And now it's all fucking new, and I love it.
That's great. So you went a straight 18 months without a single show.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Did you feel rusty at all when you were getting back?
Well, yes.
Or you were just like, this is fun and everything's new?
No, the first night was bad. Second night was orderly. Shut up, Meatwig. There's
Meatwig? What a weird cat. Oh, hello, Meatwig. You're so fluffy. Oh my God. What a beautiful house you have.
He won last pet standing. We had a running bet when we had 2 cats and 2 dogs, like Noah's Ark. And we all had bets on who was going to be the fucking last pet standing. And Meatwig won.
Oh. Is that a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Oh.
Here, this is where we were for COVID.
Outside? Oh, yeah, you did your podcast kind of out there.
No, that's in there. That's the fun house right there.
Wow. The Stanhope compound. This is so neat.
That's Tracy. She's our bartender for the podcast. Where's Tracy?
Oh, wow. You have a bartender just for the podcast? Hi, Tracy.
Well, she's also our merch person and our best friend. And there's
Chaley. Oh, here's Chaley pissing in the outside urinal.
Is that another cat?
Say hi, Chaley. You're on Chrissie Mayr's podcast.
Okay, cool.
Is your podcast done?
Yeah, no, it's still going on.
Oh shit! Did we?
You're still there.
I think I walked out of range.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, there we go.
I remember, Doug, when I was bringing you up, and I was like, how do you want me to bring you up? And you mentioned that you really hate when people use the Girls Gone Wild credit. You like really hate that for some reason. Why is that?
Ah, shit. Hang on.
Can you hear me? You're back.
Yeah, sorry, I went between two internet things. I hate when you do what?
When I was bringing you up, Doug, I was like, "Oh, how do you want me to bring you up?" And you were like, "Say whatever." And then you mentioned that you really hate when people mention Girls Gone Wild.
Yes.
Why do you hate it so much?
Well, because it was a fucking like that guy was the worst person I've ever met in entertainment.
Wow.
What
was
and
his
I
name?
just did it as a goof. Joe Francis.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I won't say more than is litigious, but yeah, I think I was a bathroom door away from shenanigans, let's say.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, just the biggest piece of shit. And I just did it as a goof. Like I did a Jerry Springer episode as an actor pretending to be some upset husband as a goof. Right? Like, why not? It's funny. It's pop culture and scamming the system. But the only reason I must have said that is because fucking Brendan Walsh opening for me just did it on purpose.
Oh,
hey,
no.
you work with the Man Show and Girls Gone Wild. I'm like, you're a fucking dick. You're doing this on purpose. It's like if you had done one porn in your life. You gotta bury it.
If I had done one porn in my life, like, yeah, I would be selling out theaters probably by myself. They'd be like, you know why you're here? Maybe it would help. I don't know. I gotta figure it out soon. I feel like
who's the worst comic that's been in your green room?
Oh God. It's probably someone whose name I can't remember. Like you definitely know when there's like annoying people around. No, I don't know. I nobody comes to mind. I can't think of...
In your green room can be social media.
Oh, okay. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah, don't even. I'm fucking clickbaiting.
Okay.
No, I'm starting what I hate.
Okay. I definitely have like some fellow comedian trolls, and I don't understand why they are like obsessed, but maybe because they're jealous or something. Chad Zumach is always talking shit, and I feel like Kevin Brennan often is. Kevin Brennan found out I got COVID and was like, I hope it's really bad. He like tweeted that out. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's actually one I saw. It's Chad Zumach. And I'm like, I thought I don't know anything about comedy. I fucking live in the middle of nowhere. But I thought that Chad Zumach was like kind of the Camp East Coast or whatever. I don't fucking know.
He's in Florida and I don't know, he stole like 30 wallets or something. And I'm like, shouldn't you be dealing with that?
I don't. You get into fucking people's personal lives and then you miss the comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I think he's just like obsessed. Like we're kids in a playground or something. This is from Paul. Hey, Doug. I was at your show in Glasgow and there was a fist fight, unsurprisingly. Are you still going there in April? What whiskey are you drinking?
Bushmills.
Was that your favorite?
It's the one that was close.
My favorite is whatever's in arm's length.
Yeah, it's I've smoked for so many decades that I can't tell if I'm eating ass or vagina.
That's kind of nice, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's all the same to me. But yes, Frankie Boyle. Do you know Frankie Boyle, Chrissie?
No.
He's the fucking guy in the UK. He's Scottish, but whatever the UK is, yeah, he's the fucking guy that starts shit and says shit, and Yeah, he's the guy. And
like
I'd never met him. And I was doing the show in Glasgow, and I'd just seen pictures of him. And I kept looking down in the second row. I'm thinking in my head, I think that's Frankie Boyle, as you go on autopilot, where you're just saying your jokes, but your head is in a... And then this fucking giant fist fight between the second and third row breaks out. How many guys were involved with that guy that just said you were at that show?
I don't know. Let's see. Paul, how many guys?
Paul,
how many guys were at that show?
I want to say like 6 people were fighting over it's a theater. So they're fighting each other, like real fighting, not like the Erica Rhodes show where they're just talking shit and throwing drinks. There are fucking blows being thrown this is a fucking huge theater.
Yeah, 5 or 6, he says.
Yeah. And we got through that pretty good. Okay, let's settle down.
What were they fighting about? Or does it?
Who fucking knows? Yeah. You don't even know what they're saying. Like if they explained, if you had one of those guys from a fist fight on this podcast, he would tell you what it was about, but you couldn't understand the garbled fucking Glaswegian accent. You know, you get a fucking candy, fucking, he looked at me, God.
Yeah, the accent just makes you sound even drunker. Yeah, that's bad. And then, you ask, oh, what was that fight about? And then you get a long ass email like Orion sent. So maybe it's better not to know what it's about. I just don't understand. Like, as a woman, I would never start a fight like that. I think just men have like pent up energy and anger, and then like something triggers it, and then they got to deck someone in the head.
Or fucking, there's every issue with it. You can't put it man and woman. There's jealousy. There's fucking power dynamics. It's just best to stay out of public.
Just don't leave your house.
Yeah. Get a nice cheap place on the border in the sun.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
From Do Mars, while on jury duty, I took Doug's advice and I put a not guilty verdict on a minor drug crime. I like to think I changed a life.
Yes! It was one of the most important bits I ever did 16, 17 years ago on a special. It wasn't funny, but the point is always take jury duty. You think voting matters, but it doesn't. Taking jury duty, one person can change someone's life, just like fucking DeMars did. Just say not guilty. It doesn't matter what the law is. It's called jury nullification. So Google jury nullification. And you vote anyway, just so you feel good. But take jury duty. Everyone's all about getting out of jury duty. I get out of it because I did that bit publicly. So I'm not trusted. But
I've never been called for jury duty. I've never been called to serve my country. Here we go.
Well, you're a New Yorker. You don't have a driver's license.
I do have a driver's license.
I was joking.
Okay. Jury nullification refers to when members of a criminal jury's trial believe that a defendant is guilty but choose to acquit the defendant anyway. Reasons may include beliefs that the law itself is unjust, the prosecutor has mansplained the law, misapplied the law in the defendant's case, the punishment for breaking the law is too harsh, or general frustrations with the criminal justice system. Wow, I like that. It's kind of like a fuck it all,
Yeah, it's all you have to do is say not guilty.
I like that. Wow.
I've told, I've said this a million times. Comedians steal that bit and make it funnier. I should make that a fucking comedy competition. Hey, anyone, promote jury nullification and make it funnier than the bit that I did in 2004, just because it's important for people to fucking know. And if you made it funnier, they would share that fucking clip. So I'll put that out there.
That's so selfless of you.
It's fucking important to the world.
Yeah, you changed a life there, Doug, because of you.
It's so fucked up to think that there's people that are doing decades in prison on the border state for marijuana possession, distribution, and right across the border, it's recreational use. That's like It's like you're still doing 30 years in prison for bootlegging booze in 1931, right before Prohibition ended.
Yeah, that's horrible. And they're all for like the smallest, like drug related. Yeah, it's really not fair.
Now, the prison system is completely fucked. The justice system is completely fucked. And people are worrying about a fucking shot. You got to get your shit in order. That fucking DEA agent that just got fucking killed in Tucson on the train, where they're doing random, commonplace. Go to my Twitter account.
Okay.
And go to 3 nights ago. Where's a newser story about this fucking
newser?
Yeah, it's about a newser story. They do fucking routine federal joint task force. Hang on, let me get my glasses.
Okay, here we go. I'm pulling up your Twitter. I'm looking for a newser article.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Me retweeting gigs. There you go. There you go. Back
this
up.
Here. DEA shootout. All right, and then I got
focus on the words routine, typical, and common. They said that on an Amtrak train, it's routine, typical, and common for them to do a joint task force, fucking federal and state search with dogs.
Wow.
Amtrak passengers looking for, where is it? Illegal money, illegal contraband. I can't fucking read even with
Let's see. In advance of the deadly shooting on Monday on an Amtrak train in Arizona, DEA agents searched bags associated with one passenger and found 2.39
that's
kilograms.
That's the update. Hey, go scroll down to the. Keep going. Keep scrolling. Anyway, the point is, it's normal for you. And fucking Biden wants to feed money into Amtrak. Well, maybe stop having fucking federal and state cops randomly bring dogs through to look for illegal fucking weapons, illegal money, I think it said.
Yeah. A typical check for illegal money, weapons, and drugs. It's a common occurrence at all transit hubs.
Yes, common. Well, that I don't want that. I don't want it. I'll take my own car, thank you. I'll drive, thank you.
Yeah, that seems like an infringement.
When you think that, like, what's her, Kate Quigley?
Yeah.
The 3 comics that died of fucking fentanyl, and the DEA agent that got fucking shot to death over drug laws. Legalize them. Fucking legalize every drug and let everybody make their own. This fucking fake anti-government people. I'll save this for the stage. I'm getting fucking worked up.
Fired up. I like it. Yeah. Sounding very libertarian of you. Or almost like anarchist.
I mean, all the fucking anti-government people, like we just played San Francisco, and they had a quality of life. The DA there said, we're no longer prosecuting for quality of life crimes, which means homeless people taking a shit on the street or junkies shooting up on a bus bench. Hey, anti-government people, are you with that? Yeah, I don't want the government poking their nose around in my personal business. So let that hobo shoot up on a bus bench where I drop my school kid off for a fucking school bus. No, you're not that anti-government, are you? Like, I've gotten so much shit on Twitter. That's why I stopped reading it, because I get a fucking vaccination. Oh, you're scared of the fucking flu? No, I've been smoking for 40 years. And I just wear a mask because I'm a fucking polite person. You've met me.
Yes, you're very polite. Yeah.
I'm a goddamn polite person.
You're a delight. Yeah.
But you can't have anti-government where you want it and where you don't. I'll save the rest of this for stage.
I like it. This is a decent comment from Jim in the chat. Yeah, I don't like the term legalized drugs because drugs are a part of a larger conversation around property rights. What you need to do is protect property rights. That would mean legalizing drugs.
Yeah, well, I already did that. This is the problem. At my age, I've already done every one of these bits. This is my fucking private property. Whatever I do to it, if I want to fucking jack drugs into it or have a fucking fetus sucked out of it, if there's property rights, it's your own body. I don't remember the funny parts of that bit, but
if you had a fetus sucked out of you, I would be so impressed.
Yeah, there's no squatters' rights in this uterus, honey. Get it out of here. Pay rent or quit.
That's so funny. Oh, someone in the chat was asking, how is Bingo?
She passed away earlier today, but
What?
I'm still doing the podcast.
Oh, stop it.
She's doing fine.
Passed away. Oh my God. God, that was so funny too. We're like, when all of us were in your room after the show, and we're just like drunk dialing people, like we called like fucking Shane Gillis.
Shane always answers.
That was so great.
Shane. And I also love being 54 years old and still drunk dialing, and it doesn't lose any of the allure over the years. Because I've had this exact same life for 30 years, 31 years of comedy, where I didn't have kids. I never had to move to fucking El Paso for 6 years because my company transferred me. No, I've just been here, drunk.
Are you from Arizona?
No, I lived here a couple times. Moved here once for a girl. I grew up in Massachusetts, and then as soon as I was legal to leave, I moved to LA to be an actor when I was 18, and then I moved to Florida to stay with my mother when that failed, and then I moved everywhere. I lived in Vegas a couple of times. I lived in Idaho for a minute. So I did 10 years in LA until 2005, and I've been here for 16 years.
You make it sound like a sentence. Like, yeah, I did 10 years in LA. Like
it is.
Prison.
Pretty much is.
Yeah, I bet you're happy to be out of there now.
It was long enough to realize I didn't want anything LA was selling. I didn't want to be in a sitcom. I'm a fucking terrible actor. I'm not even a good actor in real life. I don't know what to do with my hands when I talk to you. I'm
the same way. I'm like playing with a hair tie. I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes my hands are like, I have anxious podcast hands.
I think that's why I smoke cigarettes, and I have a cocktail in one hand and a cigarette in the other. Otherwise, I'm fucked.
I'll just be like taking apart a whole pen. Like, I'm just like,
opening elevator doors.
Yeah. Was that the craziest like fan interaction? I mean, can you remember what was the biggest overstep that a fan did?
Oh, again, it's finding a superlative in 31 years. I have no idea what's the craziest, but I have fucking crazy fans.
Yeah.
Like when the ticket price went up, people started to settle down a little bit. But there's still Orion's punching people in the face, and you're not going to get rid of that. It's like when you have a reputation as a drunk, you get bad drunks.
Yeah.
And people who can't, handle their drug of choice disturb me.
There's always going to be Orions, I guess.
Yeah, but the early days.
What was it like? So Crip Daddy opened for you recently.
I love that kid.
I've never met him, but I adore him. I've been following him for a while.
Nobody's ever met him because he hadn't been out of the house for 2.5 years. A year before COVID, he had not left his house till he opened for me in Chicago. And he did 2 nights, and that was only his second and third times on stage. And he was fucking brilliant.
Wow.
Again, I don't want to burn his bits, but fucking strong bits about pedophiles are his heroes because his uncle was, I'm going to burn your fucking bit right now. I'm going to not do it justice, but my uncle was a pedophile. This is for the listener, I guess we have to explain. Yeah. This is a kid that's in a low watt gurgler in a high back chair.
He's like, I don't know,
spinal atrophy type 2. And I only know that because I asked his mother, what's the exact disease? So right before he went on stage, I could say, hey, don't talk about COVID, 9/11, because it was the anniversary, and don't talk about spinal atrophy type 2. Because I don't want you stepping on my dick. He's the kind of kid that he can move his face and he can, if his hand comes off the controller of his motorized chair, you have to put his hand back on the controller. He's that fucked.
Yeah,
But
this is him
Look
here.
at you. Good for you. That's so brave.
I love his voice.
And let me tell you, man, when you're in a position of need in life, crippled, and you hear those words, it can't help but make you feel a little bad for them.
I don't know if this is the pedophile bit.
Look at sad,
it's
pathetic, and unfulfilled your life has to be in order to find a guy in his late 20s doing stand-up rave.
He has the best fucking just outlook on life.
That's
He's so funny.
He's like a little Stephen Hawking.
Yes, but better looking, I guess.
The payoff to the bit is he's talking about his uncle was a pedophile and he's my biggest hero. He never fucked with me because he was raised as a true blue-blooded American that knows you have to work for your success.
Oh, because it would be too easy with him. That's really good.
Again, I did it a disservice. So follow him at real young Crip. And young is spelled Y-U-N-G.
Yeah, real young Crip. 2 P's.
Yeah, I hate people who have Twitter handles that require too much fucking
nicknames and fucking
Yeah, it's young, but it's not young.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Have you ever had like any backlash from a joke or any like people writing dumb articles about you? Or if so, do you just ignore it?
Yeah, that's why I'm big in the UK is right before back when you had I don't know if you're old enough to remember a website before social media.
Yes, I remember websites.
And you'd write shit for your website and update. And I had written some shit after 9/11 about, firemen, and I had bits about firemen and, all the hero pussy that all the NYPD and the fire department were getting because they were first responders. New York Post put something in about how I was going to the Edinburgh Comedy Festival, which is the biggest comedy festival in the world, to make fun of first responders. And I'm like, you're taking all this shit out of context. And I got so much press over there for it that like I was sold out every fucking show. And it was because of bad press that I am selling out seats still in fucking the UK.
That's awesome. What's the difference in like, because I've never performed abroad yet, but how would you describe the sense of humor differences between like American and like UK sort of sensibilities? Are they dirtier? Do they like more cursing?
People were coming to see me. They weren't like, I didn't start in the UK. I already had an act. So people were coming to see me. The biggest difference is how polite they can be, to the point where you think you're fucking dying. They watch comedy a lot of the times like they're watching theater. So you're stop sweating and you're like, they're fucking,
you're like, give me something.
No, woo, yeah. There's none of that you get in a comedy club. They're just,
you need some noise coming at you. You need reactions.
And then you finish and they stand up and applaud and give you a standing ovation. And you're just, I thought I was dying. No, they're polite. You don't understand it. No one's punching someone outside of a club. But yeah, the more I grow, the more, we get more assholes yelling shit.
That's nice. Keeping it colorful.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So there's no bad press if it's all good. It's all attention.
I guess it's all in how you spin it. Fucking Louis C.K. could have walked across the street from his show and movie and all that getting canceled and still sold out a theater across the street. like, what do you want? How much do you want out of this fucking career? How greedy do you have to be? Because people get into that mindset where, oh, I need to get to a higher level, and there's no top of the heap. I do fine with my fan base.
Do you mean like not being so greedy, like don't want to do clubs and have a show and like just kind of see what works for you, not trying to be everything to everybody?
Well, you can't get canceled from the only people that can cancel me are the ticket buyers. I don't have a network that I'm on. I don't have anyone that I'm beholden to. So if you get to a place where, oh, and I'm going to do a fucking Burger King commercial and I'm overextended on my fucking mortgage. Oh, now they canceled me. Well, now I bought this fucking $6.5 million house in Beverly Hills because I thought this was going to continue on. And then I made just become uncancelable.
Yeah. Don't live beyond your means. And to the extent that you can just work for yourself. Yeah, do that. Right. Because it would take a lot for people to stop buying tickets to your show. I don't even know if that's possible. You'd have to just stop doing it.
I already worked the circuits that people that would get canceled would have to dumb themselves down to. Yeah, I worked Cheyenne, Wyoming. I work Idaho Falls. I guess it's kind of like Morristown, New Jersey, or whatever. So, yeah, I already worked those circuits. I'm good.
Yeah,
I balanced fucking roadhouses with Hammersmith O2 Arena in London. Yeah, sometimes you're at a place where your green room is the van that you parked out back by the dumpster because they don't have a green room, and you're playing to 80 people in Billings, Montana. And I fucking love that just as much or more, even more than playing a fucking theater because you can see everyone and it's a real experience.
Do you try to go abroad like once a year typically?
Yeah, once every 2 years or a year and a half at best. But like it's a whole fucking new world now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing that. You're living in a fun house. It's a pretty sweet deal there.
Yes. Yeah, I like it. I've never appreciated home more. I mean, I loved COVID for a year and a half.
Yeah, you talk about that on stage too. You're like, I had the best time.
Fucking the best. I had not slept in the same bed for a year since I was a teenager. So to just actually know where my shit is, it was great. But now that I'm back on the road, now I really appreciate a week off before I go back on the road.
I like this in the chat about living in Arizona. Don't buy too much turquoise. I feel that way every time I go out to like, Vegas or Arizona or like out west. It's like, oh, I guess I have to buy a turquoise necklace. That's what I need to do now.
How often do you come out here?
A couple times a year. Like my sister's out there. My brother used to live out in Vegas, but it seems like I've been out there twice this year already.
Sorry.
Oh no, my sister's married to a gambler, so yeah, they're out there. Yeah, I was out there twice this year.
What are your vices, Chrissie Mayr?
Ooh, okay.
You drank when I was with you, but you didn't drink heavily. You weren't drinking to excess. So
I got pretty drunk after the show, and I feel like I forgot. Like I had to thank God Frank was there. He had to tell some of the stories that I forgot. Like I forgot that we had called Shane. I forgot like just some of the like where we were going and shit. And then I'm so happy that I didn't get that drunk before the show because I would have really hated myself for that because I hate being drunk for shows and just feeling like out of control. But left to my own devices, and now of course I'm doing Sober October, which sucks.
Oh, you're doing that?
Yeah, it's the first time. And I was like, I had COVID, so I wasn't drinking for a couple weeks anyway. So I'm like, oh, let me just try to do it. So now I'm a COVID survivor now, so I can have that on my bio.
Yeah, it's all right. Never mind.
But vices
I talk so rarely that I just want to go into my act, and I'm like, why would I burn my act on a fucking podcast?
on this podcast. Oh yeah, no, don't do that. But left to my own devices, like I remember not too long ago, I would just like, for me, my vices would be like, I think masturbating. Like I would just go like maybe, I don't know, 20 in a row or something. Like if it's bad though, you can't like, get a couple off and then go do something else. Like you can't have your whole afternoon on your back,
Oh, Jesus. That made it weird.
Is that a vice? Yeah. Maybe candles. I don't know. I sound like such a loser.
All right. So you've never like been a drug person or
No. I was on Adderall for a couple years and it made me pretty skinny. So maybe I should go back on it. But like, no, never like on a bunch of drugs. I'm boring like that. I just feel like I have too much work all the time and I can't just like check out and do drugs.
You guys weird me out. I mean, people with ambition.
Yeah, well, I got to,
About that all day. I guess I did when I was a young comic. I had to, and I loved the adulation or the stories. And then you go, I'm at an age where I don't fucking care about. Yeah, I don't care.
That's my goal, is to like work. I'll work really hard now, and then when I, when I'm a little bit more famous, maybe I'll do more drugs.
Every comic goes through periods. Fuck, I'm gonna have to move because I have to charge this computer, or maybe that's when we should end.
Yeah, we're landing this plane.
Yeah, I think every comic goes through their dating story, breakup story. It's usually where it starts, and then they go through like socially conscious, fucking atheists, period. Fuck the man. Like there's stages every comic goes through, and I feel like I'm watching every comic that I followed for funny on Twitter all of a sudden having political opinions, and I'm like, well, all right, I get you go through that, but you're gonna get to a place where you just don't give a fuck. I mean, things are a lot weirder than I've ever seen in my life, but for the other part of my life, from 4 years ago back, we're just repetitive. It's the most important election.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. This is fucking weirder. And
yeah, you're kind of like at the point where you've seen so much, like no one particular issue is worth getting really worked up for.
Yeah, and when you can make a difference in someone's life, like that guy taking jury duty, that's a fucking thing where you go, oh, I personally made a difference. I wasn't tweeting about something. I made a difference. I took jury duty. I took a victimless crime and let that guy go free. I don't give to charities. I give to a guy. That guy needs money. That lady needs fucking money. I'll give it to them rather than have 70% of it go to bumper stickers and fucking Bill Burr. When we did that End of the World podcast in 2016, and I was out of my fucking mind, I'm like, hey, we're splitting the money 3 ways, me, you, and Rogan. We're giving it to charity. What's your charity? And he said, what's the fucking kid's Saint something?
St. Jude's?
Yeah, St. Jude's is one of the best rated charities. So I sent his money to St. Jude's, and I every fucking month get these packets with stickers, return addresses. Like how much fucking money is going to fucking return address envelope stickers? Who fucking mails anything anymore?
Yeah,
Jesus, give the money to the fucking kids.
Yeah, the sticker money should be going to fucking ventilators and shit. Yeah, I agree. All right. Thank you, Forrest Mommy, for the chat. Drugs are fun. Come to Colorado. Yeah, I haven't been in a couple of years. I like Colorado.
Just crash fucking Skankfest.
Really? I haven't been invited, though.
Crash it. Just look at Skankfest.net and click on the comics button. There's like almost 100 comedians. It's between 80 and 100. You're the only comedian that hasn't been invited.
I know, because Rebecca Trent hates me.
Invited themselves. I don't know what Skankfest is.
You're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, they go, we'll send you a schedule. Like that's like less than a month away, and I have no idea what shows I'm doing. And there's too many comics. I think what Skankfest does is they just invite every fucking drunken weird comic, and they just bring their own Mardi Gras to a town. I don't even know if they have shows. I think you just pay a ticket to watch Ari Shaffir fucking staple his fucking dick to his belly button.
Yes.
Or I don't know. And you just watch fucking Gilbert Gottfried die and other people throw up on each other. I have no idea, but I'm in.
That's basically, yeah. I've never been to Skankfest, but that's exactly what I am imagining. And yeah, I don't know. They don't like me over there at Skankfest. I've never been booked. So
I thought those are your friends.
I thought so too. No, Rebecca Trent doesn't like me. She is involved in the booking, and she doesn't like me because I dated Pat Dixon 100 years ago, and she liked him.
Back when he was drinking?
No, after he was sober. I think I started dating him in like 2012, and she had been dating him the summer before. She found out I was dating him, got really fucking pissed, banned me from the creek. It was like this whole thing. You would think after like all these years, it would be like water under the bridge, but it's not.
I don't even know who all these people are.
It's so dumb.
I do remember getting some kind of tweet or message. Oh, Pat Dixon, here's where he talks shit about you. I'm not clicking on that. I don't know.
About you personally?
Or he's saying the truth about it. Like, whatever. I don't need to hear it.
Oh.
Those voices play me to sleep. All the negative shit that anyone could say about me are already in my head. I don't need confirmation. I don't need a seconding of the vote. I already hate me more than anyone can hate me.
True. I agree. Not about you, but about myself. So Doug, anything to plug, promote? People can get tickets for your tour.
Just Omaha we booked way too late, so and I don't really have that much of a draw, so Omaha is like in a few days.
Yeah, October 12th.
I'm fine.
Check it out. Get tickets for Omaha. Go to dougstanhope.com/tour-dates. Buy tickets to see him in Omaha Funny Bone. Doug, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're such a joy. You're a blast. I love performing with you.
I would love to work with you again, and we'll talk.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, chat. Thanks, guys. Bye.